What's up, College Station? I'm Grace Hollowell, and today my guest is Jeremiah Cook, the Assistant Director of Tourism over at Visit College Station. Hi, Jeremiah.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. We are here to talk about the tourism update that you recently presented to the City Council here in College Station. Before that, I kind of want to get into, I know I've mentioned on the show before that I am a College Station transplant, and I know you are as well. So let's kind of talk about what drew you to College Station.
Yeah, so I'm rounding out on 3 years here, which has been super exciting, but actually came here for this job. And so I had worked in tourism in a different college town prior to this, and so I understood a lot about what tourism in a college community looks like, because it is a little bit different than, say, if you were at a beach or a mountain. And
Right.
so had some experience and thought this would be a really cool opportunity because College Station is not just any college town. First off, there's 70,000 students.
Right.
And so much more opportunity. So it was a really exciting opportunity to move here to College Station.
Yes, and what sets College Station apart from other college towns?
Yeah, aside from the size, it's that it's the hospitality that's here. I think the people that you interact with, that true howdy hospitality that you can
Yes.
experience, you can't find anywhere else.
Yes, I don't know if you were the same way, but when I moved here, my husband and I we came in blind. We had never visited College Station, let alone the state of Texas, before we got here. But we were so surprised. We're Northerners, we're Yankees, so we're kind of used to everybody keeping to themselves and not really bothering anyone. But we were so surprised at how friendly and welcoming and, oh, you're new here, go here, check out Northgate, check out, the Dixie Chicken, all of the traditions. We didn't really feel like outsiders when we got here.
Yeah, you feel like you're doing something wrong when someone speaks to you in the parking lot at HEB. But in
Right.
fact, that's just normal here. That's actually how people act. So it's really cool.
Yes, and with tourism, it's kind of a unique job. You have a niche set of skills and people that you're trying to get your work out to. So, what is one misconception or something that people would be surprised to know about the work that you do?
Yeah, I think the common misconception is probably they just don't know that we do anything, right?
Right.
Like that most people don't know about the tourism department or what we're doing on a daily basis or understand the true impact that tourism has in our community. The newest numbers came out that there's 5,600 people just employed in tourism alone here in College Station in 2024. And I think that tourism kind of happens in the background. People don't realize how much it's a true economic driver here in our community.
Yes, I know my hometown is a tourist town of Erie, Pennsylvania, but differently, kind of the same with football season here.
Sure.
They have limited tourism peak times with the summertime because the wintertime is very cold. But College Station, there's always something going on no matter what time of year it is.
That's right, and it's not just sports tournaments. It's not
Right.
just football Saturdays, but the conferences that are coming into town, the
Right.
business travel that's coming through. There's so many different aspects, and I think that's what's really cool about our economy.
And what makes you so passionate about tourism and specifically tourism in College Station?
Yeah, I think that what excites me the most is that the work that we do matters,
Right.
and I think that that's part of being in a municipality is that every one of us has some way that we can connect the work that we do to the quality of life of our citizens. And for us, it's a little bit more direct in some ways because it is we come in, we help bring conferences here, and then the hotels are able to employ more people or the restaurants are able to employ more people. So it's really cool in that aspect. But then also when visitors are coming to town, they're helping pay sales tax, they're helping put money into the local economy. And so it's both direct and indirect the impact that tourism has on our local community.
Yes, and that's really important because you want to live where there's exciting things happening and, economic growth and all of these good benefits. So before we get into the update, what is something about you that most people don't know? I know that's a daunting question.
That is. I think that most people don't know that this was my first trip to Texas when I came here. in 2022. I had never been in Texas before. College Station was the first Texas city that I had ever been to. But we instantly fell in love with it. I'm from the Southeast originally, and so I understood what Southern hospitality was, but I had no clue what Texas hospitality was. So I think it's something that's a little bit different for me than maybe other people's stories.
Yeah, similar to me though, never being to Texas before, but yes, the Southern hospitality of College Station is definitely unmatched. Okay, so the tourism update, let's talk about what is in this update and why it matters.
Yeah, so first off, kind of walk through the 2024 numbers and looking at what our hotels saw in 2024. We had a really, really good year, and I think that's not shocking to anyone. You talk about the George Strait concert or the Mex Tour soccer match there in the summer. You talk about this football season that was incredible, capped off with the Texas game at the end of November. This really was a record-breaking year when it came to our local hospitality community. And so kind of walked through some of those numbers and talked about that the state projected that there was $469 million in visitor spending last year.
Wow.
Which is a crazy number.
Yes.
Usually when I ask people, like, how much do visitors spend here? We start at $10 million, and then according to how much time I have, we'll go up by $10 million more until we get there, because you don't think about this amount of money floating around you at all times through these visitors.
Right.
And that was up 7.8% year over year, which I think is super critical, is that it wasn't just that more people came into the community, but that there was actually more spending and that there was an overall increase in the entire economy there last year.
Yes, that is very, surprising for me to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other things could you tell us?
Yeah, and so then just looking at kind of what's ahead. This summer is always a really busy time for sports. Mm-hmm. We bring in a lot of sports tournaments during the summer, and that's actually already started. And we've had stuff going back to Memorial Day every weekend. You've got some of the things that we're used to, like the 7-on-7 that's at the end of the month. I feel like that's part of the fabric of what College Station is. It's been here for so long, and our residents look forward to it, and we know when it's coming down the pike. But then something new this year is the Games of Texas, which our Parks Department's been working really, really hard on for the last few months.
Yes, that is a big one that I was not aware of, but it's something we've done in the past. Right. But this year, I have a feeling is going to be bigger and better.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the fact that for a tournament to be here in July, it has to be something really, really large.
Right.
Because you're not going to run a small tournament in a really, really hot place in the middle of July. And so last year we had USA Track and Field, and people were here from all over the country. And then we have a Olympic style event in Games of Texas this summer and next summer, partnering with City of Bryan, Texas A&M, as well as our Parks Department, Destination Bryan. A lot of people all coming together to pull off this incredible event at the end of July.
Yes, it is Compete College Station.
That's right.
What, are you guys still using?
Yeah.
Okay. Compete College Station, which is the sports tourism, which is another aspect of the tourism here in College Station. And you guys work hand in hand with our Parks Department, like you said. And it is something that I find very unique about our community. But it goes hand in hand with Texas, and sports are the core for our young people here and our adults. So what else can you tell us?
Yeah, and then kind of the other things that we're looking at in the future is starting to look at what event-wise are we bringing here. You know, we do conventions really well and we do sports really well, but something we've not really dove into a lot is what are those signature events. And so we're working with our tourism committee that council appointed to begin to focus on what are those signature events that we want to add to the leisure calendar, so that it's not just, I have to come to College Station because this tournament is there. I have to come to College Station because this conference I want to go to is there. But what other leisure things are people saying, you know what, I could take a weekend from Dallas and go spend it in College Station? And so that's something that we kind of see on the horizon as we're getting ready to go into the future.
Yes, that is something that I am looking forward to. So where can people, I know this is a lot of numbers, a lot of facts, a lot of data. Where can people find out more?
Yeah. So visit collegestation.com is the easiest place to find all of this. But then we were really excited to launch our new About Us page on our website. And so if you go to visitcollegestation.com, click on About Us in the top right corner, you'll be able to actually find these reports that we're working on. You'll be able to find phase 1 of the feasibility for the convention center study. You'll be able to find our strategic planning documents as they begin to roll out. and monthly hotel data. We really wanted to make sure that anybody that was interested in finding out more, all of it can be found on that site. So we're excited to have rolled that out a few weeks ago, and that local residents can check into that.
Perfect. Now, before we wrap things up, we're going to start something new here on What's Up College Station. We're going
Glad to be the first.
Yes, you are our test subject here. We're going to play a quick, fun game of some like rapid fire questions off the top of your head, and we're going to learn a little bit about you. I don't know if I'll give my answers as well, because we'll change these out each episode. But to start things off, are you a night owl or an early bird?
I have a 10-month-old at home, so an
Okay.
early bird is kind of mandated, I think,
Gotcha.
at this point.
So kind of like a night owl and an early bird, depending.
That's right. Kind of forced upon me, I
Yes,
guess. Yeah.
yes. I would say I'm more of a night owl than an early bird. It takes me a minute to wake up in the morning. I have a process of drinking my coffee and listening to my podcasts. Who is, speaking of coffee, the one person, dead or alive, that you would like to share a cup of coffee with?
Yeah, I think that I would really like to share a cup of coffee with Abe Lincoln. I feel like that's like the easiest answer in
Yeah.
the world, but would it be really interesting? Like I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, that was it. He was on my list as well. But I think my answer would have to be either David Bowie or
Oh,
Elvis
yeah.
Presley. They are
Fair
very
enough.
interesting people that I have a lot of questions for.
That's right.
Okay, what is your favorite place or thing to do in College Station?
Yeah, I think that my favorite probably thing to do is hanging out in Century Square. Between the restaurants, the shopping, all of those things. Porter's is one of my favorite restaurants.
Very
and
good.
Also love everything going on at the Calvary George and Pop Stroke. So that was kind of a cheat answer because it encapsulated like 15 things, but it's definitely top of my list when I'm just hanging out here.
Yes. Mine, it might throw some people for a loop, but my favorite thing to do here is the Post Oak Mall.
Oh, really?
I grew up, my first job was in a mall,
Oh, yeah.
and I am a fan of shows like Stranger Things that have that 80s feel where the mall was like the hangout spot.
Yeah.
So I love spending my weekends going to the mall, getting a smoothie, walking
Yeah.
around, shopping.
Hey, you can never go wrong with Great American Cookies. So
Right.
I do love a good cookie from
Right.
the mall. So.
Okay, speaking of cookies, what is
Yeah.
your favorite food?
It's always been barbecue, but being from the Southeast, it was pork.
Okay.
But since moving here, I've absolutely fallen in love with brisket, and it is top of my list. Anytime you're like, Jeremiah, where do you want to go? Brisket's going to be my number one answer.
Gotcha. I was not well versed in barbecue, being from the north. So my favorite food is any Italian pasta dish, the red sauce. So very different from barbecue, but kind of similar because Texas barbecue has a tomatoey flavor to it.
for sure.
Okay, and then finally, you are a Georgia grad.
That's
So who is the better mascot? Is it UGA or is it Reveille 10?
Yeah, I think that I'm not at liberty to say at this point. Both great options.
Yes.
And I think that I've never seen a dog with as beautiful a coat as Reveille. I've always said that you get to pet her and it's like cotton. It's
Yes.
so soft
Very
and
regal.
beautiful. So, but then also my heart also loves Uga. So I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this one.
Gotcha. Good answers. Well, thank you so much for being here, Jeremiah. One more time, where can people find out more information on tourism in College Station?
Yeah, visit collegestation.com.
All right. And that's what's up.